Hello, I'm APX Toycat, and today you are going to be making some decisions about the future of the Update Adventures Let's Play world. And this is something that's going to be really fun, and I'm going to be explaining it in today's episode of the Minecraft Bedrock Update Adventures Let's Play. It's going to involve cakes, it's going to involve sandstone, so get ready, because it's going to be a fun one, I hope. The reason that I'm doing one of these polls for the first time ever, where it's a direct, there are 4 options, the option will become a real thing in my Let's Play world. This is something I've never done before, giving people a proper choice about the world. It's something I wanted to do for 2 reasons. One is, of course, the Let's Play world came onto the marketplace just a week and a half ago now. Actually, it's almost a full 2 weeks now. And, this is something a lot of people have really enjoyed just looking around and checking out. And I really like the idea of, working within the confines of something, but as long as it's in a way I like. And there is something that I do like, and that is destroying deserts. There's 2 reasons I like destroying deserts. One is that they contain a lot of sand, and sand is just an undergotten resource in Minecraft. You need a lot of sand to make glass, you need it to make sandstone, you need it, most importantly, just to cover things in sand. You know, I do that a lot when it comes to oceans, as you can maybe work out. Basically, sand is very valuable, and the number one place you get it is deserts. And the second thing about deserts is they suck as a biome. I have one functional desert that I built I destroyed an entire nether fortress and I rebuilt it over the desert. That's enough for me. This is enough desert for my entire world as far as the biome itself goes with all the sand. Any other deserts that I keep outside of this turtle farm as well, I guess. This turtle farm being in the desert, that also makes sense. Anything else is just me being wasteful in my opinion. All of this sand right here that I'm keeping is just an entire waste. So I'm going to be going through and I'm going to be shoveling this entire biome even more than I already have. You all know about the torch desert. I've destroyed that. It's covered in torches. I've made a torch biome. It's nice. I think the desert looks more interesting being covered in torches than it ever looked being covered in sand because they're just such a dull biome. Again, we need to have dull biomes in Minecraft, so we appreciate the good biomes. You don't appreciate things that are good if you don't have things that are bad, compare them to. You know, this is a rule used by people in their profile pictures, every day of the week. And one of the things that we need to appreciate more is that deserts suck. Let's replace it with something else, and that's what I'm doing today. But first, allow me to show you just how big this desert is. By the way, you might think, wow, it's a big desert. Let's not waste it. But this desert goes from all the way over there near that roof forest. You can see. I've actually got myself quite a few. I lowered that whole biome over there. It goes to here. This part I've already destroyed. It's going over to here. Parts I've also destroyed. It goes across to that island. Oh, oops. I let go too early. It goes across to that island over there, to that island over there, and even crazier than all of that, we also we have this tiny bit of desert that goes past this turtle farm. But as well as all of this, it also goes over to this little island over there. That island over there is actually a desert island. The way you can tell deserts from beaches, because a lot of islands are beaches, it makes sense that islands have beach because they're surrounded by coast and that's where beaches generate. But the reason you can tell that this is in fact a desert is because of the cactus that generated here. And that is presumably a beach, but it could be a desert too. We don't know for sure, but either way, the fact that the desert goes this far, it's too much. It's dumb, it's ridiculous, and that's why I'm converting this bit of desert into something that I think is beautiful. Because you know what the best bit about deserts are? You know what the thing that they're always missing more of? We're always like, I just feel like we're missing something. That's right, it is desert wells. Oh yeah, finally the time has come for the lowly desert well to shine because we're building ourselves some desert wells. I think this is a long overdue addition to the world. Actually, let's just let's go ahead and make it a 2-tool desert well. One of those rare treats that we're gonna give ourselves. Oh, boom! This is so nice. But we're not only gonna give ourselves one desert well, which I think is a great idea by itself. We have to build this whole thing now, by the way. It goes up like this, I want to say. We need slabs to finish this. But we're not only going to build ourselves a desert well, but also something I realized that is, underutilized in Minecraft is, have you ever looked at the word desert? I mean, I'll put it on screen right now, I hope. I'm recording this like 10 minutes before it goes out. So if I've got to put desert on screen, then my bad. But have you ever noticed how similar it looks to the word desert? And so if desert wells are such a great feature that we should keep anyway, you know what? Wouldn't it also make sense? I mean, just like hypothetically, wouldn't it make some sense to have a desert well? I'm glad you asked this hypothetical rhetorical question that I'm now answering on behalf of myself, because yeah, you're right. We need to have ourselves a desert well in this biome. And that is why we're making ourselves desert wells and desert wells today. I think it's beautiful. Thank you. I know I'm doing a very good job by being poetic right here. And yeah, we're making ourselves one of these. Because I did have some spare cakes from when I made the number 400 to celebrate 400 episodes. And I made it out of cake. And ever since then I thought, you know what, I think I have just too many cakes. And so that is where this comes in, my dessert well. Which again, I've got the same problem with lack of slabs. Yeah, we don't have any wood either. By the way, people complain at my lack of inventory management and my lack of chest management in this world. Again, a lot of people have been going around checking out the world since it released on the marketplace, which is an interesting experience. It's a very weird one, if I'm being honest, like people being able to look around at your last 8 years of history. But one of the benefits of that is you can almost certainly just look around and find a chest which has some vague resource you want. Do you want some string? Better believe you can find it. Do you want some beef? I have a furnace around here, right? We should just cook that up. Yeah, look at that. We can leave one here, but now we can get ourselves some cooked beef, my favorite food in Minecraft. And yeah, the fact that you can just go around, find some stuff you need, it's actually kind of useful. I mean, most of this is garbage, but not all of it is garbage, and that's something we should value. People are always saying I have too many crafting tables in my world, but you know what? I never find one when I need it. And so another crafting table added to the pile so I can finally make those slabs and we can finally finish the most beautiful structure that ever has existed or ever will exist in Minecraft. Some people say, you know what, Toycat, we get it, you're being sarcastic. And I find that offensive. Like, you know what, you think that the only way you can love this structure is by being sarcastic? You disappoint me. There are many valid, beautiful reasons to love this desert well right here. I mean, just look at the handsomeness of this structure. Oh, isn't it great? Don't we all secretly want to do things to the desert well? Yes, we all do. Okay, well, actually, can I get this on top? I'm gonna have to like place a block there, and there we go. That is a complete desert well. Something feels a bit off about it. Maybe I meant to use slabs somewhere in there, but you know what? I did my best, met my best job I could. That's all that matters. And so next up here, we need some string. I think we need more than 2 string, actually. You know what? Let's not think about that. So we can place some string there, and we place some cake on top of this string, which, again, easy thing to do. Just gotta jump at the right angle, and then... Wait, can you place cake on string? Today I learned you can't place cake on string. Or maybe I'm doing it wrong. Did you know that you can't place cake on string? You can place almost every other, like, floaty block on string, but you can't place cake. So instead what we do is we place a bunch of these around there. Again, supposedly... You know, it's interesting that you can use the string as that, and then we can place cakes all the way up above these. And then, I guess, yep, this this is how it's gotta be, apparently. And then we remove that. I'm gonna level with you here. It just isn't the same. The dessert well is not the beauty that I was expecting. And I'm very disappointed. You know what? This is what happens when you try to mess with perfection. You have too much hubris, and you fall too far. And I think I actually made it a block too tall, maybe? I can't tell what's wrong. But you know what? We tried our best, and we just didn't succeed. Maybe, wait, I think I know what's wrong now. Like, I'm missing one of the 2 key components of a dessert well. Oh god. We're missing one of the 2 key components of this structure. See, I don't have a bucket on me. I cleared out my inventory recently, and I just don't have all the things that I need. Everyone's saying I have inventory management issues, but like, kind of like how hoarders have a big problem with like, oh, what if I need to use that sometime? You know what? This is my sometime. I've been hoarding buckets and all that sort of garbage forever, and now I can't make a desert well. What is the point in playing Minecraft if you can't make a desert well? Like, what am I actually doing here? Tell me that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm doing something different today, and I'm doing some user feedback because I wanna mix things up somewhat. I think one of the things that it's really easy to do is to fall prey to confirmation bias. And let me take an example of that like happens to YouTubers all the time. Like, YouTubers complaining about the sub box not working is a really common thing, and it's common for 2 reasons. One, because like it's an easy way to explain why a video didn't do well. On YouTube, your metrics are public for everyone to look at all the time. I can't tell you the number of times I get comments like, hey, the views on this video are lower than the views on the other videos, therefore this is a worse video, ? Or, you know, therefore, so you're starving now, Toycat? Is that, you know, like saying something like, ooh, so, you know, this is going terribly for you. Like, the number of people who tell me like, oh, so like, you know, things going really rough now, or like, oh, you know, people get the wrong impression of when things are going amazing or not, like, entirely channel-wise. Like, I've had people in my lowest months be like, wow, you're really killing it right now, because I had one video that did particularly well or something. Like, it's really interesting, you know, like the fact that like those things are public, so people see them all the time. And so like you need an explanation for why something's bad that makes people like basically shut up and go away. Honestly, so much of life, I've said this before and I'll say it again, so much of life is finding ways to make people shut up and go away. And, you know, it's very hard to find consistent methods to do it. But one of the ones is like, oh, sub boxes. The reason my videos are not getting as many views as they perhaps would otherwise is because of the sub boxes. And so, you know, I hate to break it to you, but you're gonna have to shut up and go away. Oh, I don't want you to shut up and go away, but you're just gonna have to now, aren't you? Oh, it's gonna suck so bad for me that you're gonna be away, and also you're gonna have shut up. But I guess if that's how it is, and so the thing about this that really I find interesting is that I think some YouTubers genuinely do believe, wow, every time my videos do badly, it's because my subscribers just didn't have the opportunity to click it. But I think some people know that yeah, it's just a way to make people stop talking about the bit, you know, the thing of like, why is it not having any views? Because it didn't hit with my, you know, it's hard to work out what a group of people on YouTube want because you have disparate, confused, you know, like you as a group of subscribers are a big complex group of people. I don't know why it works sometimes and why it doesn't. Why don't you tell me if you're so smart and you're so hip with things? By the way, if we want to have more desert wells on this island, on this beautiful, beautiful desert well island, I'm gonna have to mine some sandstone because it breaks my heart turning sand into sandstone. It's such a wasteful recipe given how useful sand is and how comparatively less useful. Do I have a sandstone box on me? Ah, just end stone. You know what, screw it. You know, no one's gonna notice the difference anyway, right? I'm pretty sure that's how this one works. But yeah, basically, recently, the reason I bring this up is I made a Q&A video recently. Oh, you can't make end slabs. So I have to make some end stone slabs for the tops of this. I'm sure no one will notice. But this weekend has been one of the craziest weekends ever for me. I streamed for 11 hours. Which if I've done that before, it was once before, and then I died at the end. So like, it's a very different ending atmosphere to actually achieving something at the end of 11 hours. And basically, I had a really good time doing it. Like, I was shocked. I was expecting to like hate my life and want to end it by the end, but like, I had a really good time streaming. It was wonderful. But then just after that, I uploaded a Q&A Saturday. And then I uploaded another Q&A Saturday because it was the wrong Q&A Saturday. I call all my Q&A files Q&A.mp4, and apparently that that caught up with me as being not a very good idea. So today I learned, don't call all your files the same thing and then not double check them before uploading, or something will go wrong. Yeah, this looks exactly the same. I don't think anyone's going to spot the difference. I mean, obviously, just in case they do spot the difference, I think it makes sense to get back to that destruction thing we were just on. So let's go do that now, actually. So throw all of this in there, and now let's go get some sand, because, you know, like I mentioned, destroying a desert, it's an important project, and let's go do our fair bit. This actually relates to how it's going to be a subscriber episode, so, a subscriber decided episode. You can work out where it's going right now, I'm sure, but again, we'll get into the full details later off the voting. Anyway, so, basically, I made that, I made a Q&A Saturday, then another Q&A Saturday, and then I made a store Saturday video. You know what, those videos, they have a very niche audience. Some people like those, but like some people like, haha. Mostly Minecraft Java players like, what is this toy cat? What is this microtransaction nonsense that you're selling? And I totally get it. Like, I totally feel that mindset almost every other time I go and I buy something terrible that cost me $6. But anyway, and then I uploaded Seed Sunday, and it just it did like a very tiny amount of numbers, and I was so like, oh, that's tragic. People didn't like Seed Sunday this week. But then every other comment or something like that is, I didn't even see this in my subscriptions. And I think, you know, it's really interesting because as I see that, I'm like, yes, I'm vindicated. People, you know, like, will no longer judge me as being, you know, But I think it reminded me of this thing that every YouTuber falls prey to at some point, because if you speak to your audience too much, you know, if you speak to your subscribers too much, you know, every YouTuber's like, oh, I love listening to you so much, and you know, this video is going to be directly listening to you in a very controlled, reasonable way. But if you listen to your audience too much, first of all, you're going to go insane because, you know, the quality of that feedback is going to have some issues. But second of all, you're going to get some real confirmation bias. The reason certain, you know, you see some personalities that go really off the walls. Am I using the right mic? Oh, thank God I am. I was worried that was going to go poorly. But some YouTubers go really off the rails and believe they're literally God, and, you know, even worse in some cases. I've got some people in mind, but let's not name them. There are some people from OG YouTube that just went literally insane, like R. Kelly level insanes. And it's really interesting Because those people go like that because they're surrounded by people who tell them they're great. And when they find someone who tells them they're not great, they get rid of them. They replace them with someone who, surprise, surprise, based on the fact that they follow them, thinks that they are also great. And yeah, we're gonna deposit this in a shulker in that barrel now. We're gonna have a whole barrel filled of sand. It's gonna be great. By the way, now that I'm done with this string and this lever, we throw it back in the chest. And now and also this endstone and this endstone brick slab. And these sandstone slabs, and now the chest deals with more of my problems for me. I don't know why people don't think this is the way forward. I don't understand it in the slightest. But yeah, let's go to sleep. And just kind of like this like confirmation bias is a common thing, but like people reinforcing the beliefs they believe to be true already, it's a real problem that we have. I think somebody like I think smart professionals will play into this. Like, I've been looking at houses recently. I looked at houses earlier today. I thought I found the perfect house. It's the most heartbreaking thing is I've put in offers on a couple of houses now. I had an estate agent call me and describe a house that was like very similar to the last house that I looked at, except he's like it's cheaper and it faces let's just say it faces something nice. I don't want to. It's a very charming specimen, especially for this area. Let's say. Also, it's cheaper, and the other one, the last one that I bid on, was garbage on the inside. I'd have spent months just like making it not sad, and so it was like, yes, we finally found the perfect one. I built it up as being perfect in my mind, and yeah, everything the guy had said had kind of confirmed the positive things that I wanted. Because again, he's done a good job telling me what I need to hear. And then when I get there today, because I only got for certain things, you only get the full address just before you go to the thing. You can obviously find it earlier in some cases, but this was literally brand new. You know, this is just you know, come on the market or like become marketed like 3 days ago. And I get there, and it's the exact one that I've been to twice and put an offer on already. And I was like, oh, that explains why it's exactly like the one that I liked, and except it's cheaper because they didn't sell it. And they didn't like my offer, so they went lower, but they want something closer to it. Like, oh god, what has just happened to me right here? And yeah, it's kind of, it's heartbreaking because like, yeah, all the right things were there. He was saying it, like I was like, is it this? And he's like, yeah, that is. And I don't know, it's a really interesting tale to me of like, I guess first of all, asking specific details, like, you know, that's why when you're talking about a street, you should probably check. Yeah, and it's like a street that you've already looked at a house for. There's not many houses for sale at a given time. You should check if it's the same house. It was a different estate agent, and usually houses are marketed by one, but it had just switched from one to the other, so that's what happened there. So, you know, first of all, that's what happened. And second of all, it made me realize, like, yeah, when you believe something, it's really easy to believe more things that push you to that. Like, I've been thinking a lot today about how, like, when you're really, really, you know, when you're sad, things that that convince you that the world is a bad place, or things that convince you that you should be sad, seem really agreeable. Like, yeah, of course. And when you're happy, everything seems amazing. You know, the idea of like rose-tinted glasses in relationships, like when you're really early and freshly, and you know, everything just seems perfect about the person. And but you know, when you're wearing rose-tinted glasses, the red flags just look like flags, or whatever the BoJack Horseman saying is. It's a really interesting idea that like we hear what we want to hear sometimes, and that's a problem that is really hard to address. But it's one I've been trying to work on myself, especially like again, being on the internet, being on YouTube. It's very hard to not just be like, you know what? Why don't I just start listening to the people that say I'm amazing? Like, I mean, like, even if they're like, you know, they're not entirely right, but like they might have something good to say. But it's like, no, you gotta remember all your flaws. You gotta remember why you suck, because otherwise you're not gonna be working on fixing those things. If you don't remember what the problems in you are, then you get me, right? If you're not actively aware of your problems, if you're actively convincing yourself they don't exist, you're not gonna work on them. And I think that's actually a great idea at some point in your life. Like, maybe when you hit 50 and you're not developing as a human, or you don't intend to develop as a human anymore, maybe at that point, just like, yeah, surround yourself by people who just say, you are great, what you do is great, congratulations on being great, you know? Maybe there is a real stage in your life where that's what you want, and that's great, and it's wonderful, and everyone should do that. But I also think that, yeah, it's something I've been trying to work on. And I wanted to share it with all of you because I think too many people fall into this trap too, in a whole variety of ways in their personal lives. Like when you're mad with someone, everything adds. You know, one of the things that I do that I really don't like, it's like a part of my paranoid brain, is like I'll just randomly assume like, you know what, this person probably hates me, and here's the list of reasons why. I mean, last time we met, they were a bit weird in this one way. That was their way of masking the fact that they despise me as a person, and they want to, you know, they want to really, every time they're around me, they're like, ugh, wish I wasn't anymore. Hate this guy. Only around him for this, that, the other. Really easy to like do that when you're thinking like, well, I mean, I already think it. When you're trying to find reasons to prove that correct, it's really easy. You should be trying to find reasons to prove it's not correct. And doing, you know, again, that's the scientific method. Doing that in more of your personal life, I can't pretend that it doesn't happen to me still, that it hasn't happened to me like recently. But yeah, it helps in a lot of ways. Even like, you know, like I have a couple friends of mine who are like definitely in a very unhealthy relationship together. But it's like, you know what? What if it's not actually? Rather than jumping to like, you know what? Maybe, you know, like it's too easy for people to say that from the outside, like, but then so you gotta look at like, you know, what if it's really healthy? What if this happens all the time? And like in this case, it's not particularly, but so many times it's easy to like come up with some issue you have with people just out of nowhere, and I think that's something we shouldn't aim for. That's my personal take. Anyway, so now that we've been sufficiently destroying the desert, we've got ourselves lots of sandstone. I want to talk about my idea for this biome, right? By the way, what have I been up to? I've been looking at houses and being inside and being sad that I can't ride my electric scooter without serious repercussion because of bizarre laws that are actually being enforced during the midst of a pandemic. Wow, thank you for asking. Wow, some Andrew videos coming on that soon, you say? Yes, indeed. But so ignoring my little thing there, I have a vote for all of you, and I wanted to do this midway through the video. I wanted to very deliberately make this something for people who watch the Let's Play, not people who watch the first 25 seconds and go, you know what? I forgot that I was watching this. But this desert right here, I'm replacing with another biome. Obviously, it will retain its desert characteristics. It's not that old a desert that, like the Torch Desert where it will still rain. This is a real desert. If it was raining elsewhere, I could show you that. But just trust me, it's a desert, it doesn't rain. But I can make this so much better of a biome. And I had 4 ideas. They're all bad ideas, but I want you to pick between my bad ideas for what this biome should be. 1, notice how much obsidian I have lying around? I'm mining even more, probably over the course of this week or soon. Given that I'm gonna be, given that I have a lot of obsidian, what if I made an obsidian biome? It's just covered in obsidian. Boom. Great idea, right? Just an obsidian-filled biome. Imagine, and I'm gonna fill this little corner over here, just to give you a taster of that one. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna put it in my hand. Imagine this block that's in my hand, but like, all the way over here. You know, here's my little taster. Do you like it? Wow, can you imagine this but a whole biome? Bet you can. My second idea is surround the biome with coarse dirt, which is... Did that fall down there? Surround the biome with coarse dirt, so obviously dirt, gravel combination. It's a fun thing to make. Surround the biome with coarse dirt, then make it a dry, like kind of a plains biome, but it's a dirt plains, you know? Deliberately always dirt. Would be interesting, right? Third idea that I have, make it a mycelium... Not island, but just a mycelium biome. You know, like a mushroom island that looks like it's connected to things. People would assume that I'm so lucky, but it wouldn't be true because it wouldn't be a true I mean, they'd spot from the lack of mushrooms, but we could like grow some mushrooms, make it like look like a mushroom island. And the fourth idea I have is because it's a desert that's normally filled with sand, you know what would be hilarious is if we filled it with soul sand. Because, you get it? It's like a desert with sand, but it's soul sand, so it'd look like the Nether. We put a few fossils up, it'd be good, is what I'm saying. What do you think about those? How many ideas is that? 4 ideas. I'm gonna be doing a poll at some point this week. I might forget actually. You know, if I haven't done a poll by like Wednesday, can someone just tweet me and be like, you know, you had one job this week, Toycat, do that. But I will probably do this with myself because I'm almost certainly gonna remember this idea that I came up with a whole hour and a half ago. But yeah, I wanted to do a viewers choose something because I want to see how interesting that idea is to you. I mean, to a lot of people, it's like, you know, this is fine. Don't really need to do that. but to some people, it might be more than fine. And maybe more than fine is worth aiming for. Speaking of more than fine, you know, let's finish some desert wells. Oh, this is gonna be good, right? It's gonna be the greatest. Oh yeah, get this, it's an island, not just with 4 desert wells, but we're gonna have a... Is there an easy way we can put a 5th one in here, actually? You know, I don't think a 5th desert well is gonna work here at all. You know where I should put the 5th desert well? I know where I should put a 5th desert well. Also, this looks horrifically wrong. Yeah, I think we're gonna need to sand that out. There we go. That's better. So anyway, you know where a 5th desert well would go? Great. I'm glad you asked, rhetorical voice in my head that doesn't exist because this is the internet. That's not how it works. You yelled at your screen right there. You've got some problems. Let's be real with ourselves. But let's go and show you where this needs to be. I love that you don't take full damage through end portals. By the way, I should point out, I've had a few questions asking where this is in my world. So this is my end. It's covered in glass. It's finally, I'm in the phase where I can finally rebuild it, if I want to. But I've had the tricky decision of working out. And in fact, I want to know your opinions, internet. This is opinions, this isn't the decision. You decide what my desert becomes, but you can just say words here and I'm gonna totally ignore them if I want to. Anyway, so as you can see, this is my end. I've destroyed now all of the fake pillars, the pillars from console that don't work in Bedrock. I don't know why there are so many additional pillars that were added, but they've finally been destroyed in this current version. It's going to be coming out soon, by the way. But like if you want to see it for yourself. But I finally destroyed all the pillars. It's a fun thing. And so now the question is, should I destroy the real ones too? Because I don't intend to respawn the dragon ever. Like unless there's something absolutely wild in a end update, and I don't imagine there is. Should I just destroy all of the main pillars? I mean, destroying 5 pillars was like an intense amount of work. And most of those were half pillars. I think it would be crazy to destroy all of these too. But wouldn't it be fun? I mean, interesting. I mean, both fun and interesting. Or do I want to keep them there for posterity? Tell me what you think, internet. I'd love to hear. Okay, now the beacon is all put into a shulker box. I want to show you something that a lot of people have asked where it is in my world, and it's relevant to my next mega project. I mean, regardless of what we're doing you know, next week as a result of the vote that happens this week, probably on Wednesday, probably on my channel page. You know what, let's use the comment section of this video actually. See, this is the fake out. Everyone who watches just the first 20 minutes and thinks that that's enough of the Let's Play is waiting for that poll, like, ooh, can't wait till Toycat does a poll where he lets us choose a biome. But all of you know, you smart people, know that actually, leave a comment down below. I'll do a basic search to make sure there's no multiple comments from the same account, and then we'll see what gets more comments. Just say soul sand, just say mycelium, just say obsidian, or just say dirt. See, dirt seems... I can't decide which idea is the dumbest, and that's how you know not one of them will win. Anyway, so I've got a lot of glass here that we can walk over, of course, or we can fly over it. It's entirely fine to do. And once we fly over all of that, we're going to be able to get ourselves to this nice little end island. It's an end island that most people haven't experienced in this world. I mean, you have to walk over a lot of glass to get here. I mean, I don't blame you for not coming here, but I have this lovely little end island, and this end island is the basis for the end road. So I did a project a long time ago. It was actually one of the most successful I'd done at the time, where the idea was I think it was like every tip I get, I'll make the road 10 blocks longer, thinking like, oh yeah, we'll see if we ever end up getting like, you know, a 1,000 block long road or something. And then there was another weird rule, which was like, oh, if you tip $10, I'll immortalize you in this world. Oh god. Because, you know, I thought that was a really cool idea. One of the things I always like is the idea of like being, let's call it immortalized or something, you know, existing beyond myself, because, you know, I don't exist for very long. I'm going to exist here, and then I'm not going to exist here. And it turned out a lot of people shared that in a way that I wasn't expecting in the slightest. And so we've got this road that goes on for 7,000 blocks. There's a lot of signs. Wow, there's even that one. See, this sign has aged poorly, whoever decided to put that in place, huh? You know, you can see all these lovely little things that go up. I think I spelled your name wrong, Mischievous. Is that how you spell it? You know, I'm not gonna question some of these. Oh look, see this sign is probably aged pretty well. Yeah, basically there's a bunch of signs that people, if they tip $10 or more, could put up here. And I don't know why I find this to be so interesting to look at all these years later. I want to say years. Yeah, it was before December 2019, so it's been over a year. It's just so interesting to see some of these, you know, like things and be like, is this a name I recognize? Are they still around, etc., etc.? And I felt like a lot of people were interested in seeing this for themselves anyway. Anyway, so this is a long road that goes effectively nowhere, let's call it. It just adds another, you know, 50 to 100 megabytes to the file size. Was that the smartest thing ever? Who can be sure? Some would say no. But, you know, some people would say a lot of things. Some people would say just going for a walk down a 6,000 block long road isn't a good idea. But I kind of like it. I think, you know, this is a thing the Romans did. They just made very long straight roads between places, even when it was tricky to do so. You know, like a lot of roads before that were just whatever's easiest to do. No, they made it straight, they made it flat, they made it easy. And it again, as dumb as it sounds, like having roads for not cars but for walking, it did make walking between places faster. And it also made it consistent. Something that's nice about the rail networks or the airport. You know, like have you ever been to an American airport? You ever been to another American airport? Don't they look kind of similar on the inside? Like having standardized systems is kind of one of the things that builds the world, builds, I don't want to use the word culture, but like, it's one of those things that we don't put enough value into. Bearded Ninja. See, the fact that the signs are still going all this way out. This is one of the first streams that truly, like, blew my mind. It was like, yeah, I had a very good Christmas as a result of this, by the way. Thank you. But it was one of those things where you know what, I'm just going to fly the rest. You know what? Is your name here? Well, it's gone now. I'm just kidding. It's so interesting to see, in my opinion. It's just so interesting to see the, you know, the extent of this thing. Like, if every 10 blocks was representing, I think it was $1 in tips. It's like, and it just goes, and it goes, and it goes. I remember I stayed up, the reason this came up, like, is because recently I did the 11-hour stream, just beating the dragon by walking instead of going into the nether. It was the weirdest peaceful, in fact, being able to beat Minecraft on peaceful, already very, very weird, but it was a weird Minecraft peaceful run. And, oh god, if we do fly all the way there, we're not going to be able to fly back. It's going to be a tragedy. You know, let's just actually glide rather than doing whatever we were doing before. But it reminded me of, like, yeah, doing long, when you're, like, in the middle of something really long, sometimes it feels like it's a forever thing. But to me, like, I spent, like, 5 minutes inside a store earlier, and it felt like forever, because I walked so far today. I walked all the way across London, then all the way back, because I was, you know, couldn't take my e-scooter. Wow, sure, I'm glad I got some good exercise in. Thank you, Metropolitan Police. But like, so I did a really, really long walk today, but it just made standing still hell. I don't even know how that makes sense. Like, walking's painful, but you're doing something, you know? But when you stand still, it is hell. Maybe this is like a sign I'm really impatient. I'd like to believe I'm pretty patient when I know something's being done. But, like, at one point, there just, you know, like, there was 2 people in line ahead of me, and the cashier just walked off, and, like, obviously she walked off to do something, but she was gone for a while, and I was like, no, I hate this. Why is there one cashier? What happened? You know, like, it kind of, like, it was a bad situation. It wasn't fun. If I was to choose to be somewhere, it would not be in that store. For whatever amount of time. But it's interesting that, like, oh yeah, but the 2 hours of walking, I guess I like walking through London, but like the 2 hours of walking felt like nothing. But the barely, you know, 2.5 minutes of store felt like eternity. It's one of my favorite Einstein quotes, because, like, shows what a horn dog he really is one of his famous theories is about relativity of time, and that's how time actually does change based on gravity or whatever. But there's an explanation about it being like, oh yeah, you know, you spend a second on some really hot coals, feels like you spent an hour. You spend an hour in the company of a lovely young nurse. I think he was very old at this point, and it feels like a second. And it's like, yeah, but I don't think, like, just acting like good. One of the flaws in it, like, you know, acting like just good times go fast and bad times go slow. See, look at that. I'm mischievous again, but I spelled it correctly. See, even that doesn't seem like it's spelled correctly. Something seems wrong there. It's one of the things that I think is like kind of faulted there is like sometimes really good things do last forever, and sometimes bad things do go quickly. But knowing what your fast things are is a really good idea for like kind of the double-edged sword benefit. Like there are some tasks, you know, like apparently walking in Minecraft, I can basically do absentmindedly. The 11 hours of that stream passed in my head, like thinking back on it, it was like, yeah, I spoke for a few hours. I tried to tell a life story, but it didn't go too well. But like the stream passed so fast in my mind, and that means, you know, I basically lost the Saturday. I did something that, in my opinion, was pretty cool that Saturday. You know, I beat Minecraft on peaceful without going to the Nether live for no good reason. I did something that, in my opinion, was pretty cool. It was a fun and unique experience. But you know, like that. Other than that, like the whole day was gone. Like I had an hour to myself before bed, and I had an hour before that stream, and then there was that stream, and that was my day. I just lost the Saturday, you know? Like, there's a lot of video stuff that I'm very slightly behind on as a result of it, and I feel, like, awful about that. But, like, realizing that, like, you know, knowing what makes time goes fast is a dangerous ability to have. I used to always wish I had the superpower to just skip forward in time, but then you realize that, you know, like, that's actually the worst type of superpower. That is literally just missing out on some parts of life. And as soon as I realized, and as soon as I started thinking about it that way, that like, oh yeah, there are just Pap's Highway to Heaven, by the way. You know, as soon as you realize that there just are some activities, you know, as soon as you realize time is finite and we only have so much of it, you realize that actually things that make time speed up are dangerous. They should be minimized where possible. We have an instinct to love to do things that do that to us, but it shouldn't be, you know, like when I browse social media, time disappears and I don't have any remnant of it. Having those remnants is special. And speaking of special, yeah, you're really wondering how this desert well thing's gonna come in, huh? Well, allow me to, you know, before I build this desert well, I think it only makes sense that I build a beacon for this. People are always saying that I'm not building beacons before I do my big projects, and it's fair, you know, what's the point in having a desert well if I don't have a beacon that's on top of it? Like, it's just a waste, right? It's just a waste. Is this correct, or do I have to mine here? Okay, we'll go here. I think that's 9. We'll quickly confirm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's 9. Wow, this is so much iron. It's been a while since I made a mega. You know, usually what I just do is I make a level 1 beacon, but I always get people being like, why don't you make a level 2 beacon? You know, here you are, internet. I hope you're happy. I'm making a level 2 beacon. This is gonna be the best desert well you've ever seen. But no, this is my way of saying, and announcing indeed, in a Let's Play, that I really like Minecraft projects, and they're like slightly harder to do, like cognitively speaking, while you know, like having a fun conversation with the chat, while also reading tips, because I don't know if I've mentioned this, I'm buying a house, and oh god, what have I done here? I'm buying a house. It's wildly expensive in a way that makes me like genuinely nervous, and you know, like the streams are the thing that like make that feel like okay. It's like okay, it's, you know, if these people care about me even when the notification doesn't show or whatever else, then you know what, maybe things are gonna be okay. And so I've been streaming recently. It's been a good way to calm my nerves in that particular way, and it's also been a lot of fun, and that's why I want to do some of those, because I wouldn't say I would say like having like that big thing that I do at the end of the day, sometimes it's scary, and that's why I never want to commit to streaming for I don't want to commit to being a streamer, you know. Oh, I don't have enough iron to make a why do I have a beak? Why do I have a chest with just enough? This is a dumb beacon. You know, I guess it fits me pretty well then, doesn't it? Fits me pretty well. So let's just place our beacon over there, I guess. Yeah, that's good. How you like that? Oh, it's not working. Do beacons not work in the end? Do you have to put in the thing now? Is there a good reason why it's... Okay, now, maybe? Is the layer below it not working? Why am I not getting haste? Anyway, so you know what I'm gonna be doing is I'm building, because you know what I want to do. One of the projects people have always suggested, and I've always suggested, but just like never kind of came around to doing is this is a desert. This is a, you know what, let's call it a desert city. It spawns in this big desert biome with the weird purple cactuses. I'm going to be destroying this entire thing. Besides the end ship, I'm leaving that there. And I'm going to be reconstructing it. But, you know I'm going to leave, because I don't want to just have a place where there used to be a big old desert city, but now there isn't. I'm going to leave a structure better than it in its place. And you know what we're talking about now? Yeah, you know how this ties in now. That's right, we're building Minecraft's greatest structure right here, right now, to replace it. Because some people are going to get here, they're going to be lonely, and they're going to think, wow, this is missing out. Oh, thank you, Shulkers. I did want to get pretty high up. I'm glad you appreciate that. I might take some real damage here. I should be careful. Also, why is my beacon not working? I feel like I've done something wrong in a dumb way. Is there like... Are there blocks missing below here? Do beacons not work in the end? Do beacons not work out here? What's gone wrong here? Like, I want to know. Did I just lose an emerald forever for no reason? What's happening here? And how is it? Also, I need some sandstone slabs. If only there was a crafting table. Wow, turns out there is a crafting table. That sure is handy, am I right? Yeah, look at that. But yeah, one of the things I like also about YouTube current internet situation is and streaming is like people seem to generally, you know, outside of like the one occasional person, understand the boundaries and how things are. Or like maybe that's just recently. Things have been very good, and I like that. Like usually people are like, you know what? Here's $5 Toy Cat. Stop what you're doing right now and make a sign to me. And how do you deal with that? Because like you can't refund it on the spot. You can't be like, well, I didn't say I was gonna do that. You know, like how do you deal with that? Is one of those long-lasting questions that there's no real answers to, that don't make me feel terrible as a human being. And so I just wanted to remind you of the fact that like, hey, if that is your real lifelong dream to have a sign in the Toy Cat Let's Play, one day maybe we'll have a day where you can immortalize yourself. Who knows for sure? Like chaotic zombies. But in the meantime, we're gonna have a lot of fun destroying this end city, and it's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be a stream series this week. What is wrong with? Can someone tell me? I really feel. Okay, wait. Oh, it's got the thing above it. I have to destroy like at least one block because it's. You know, okay, so this is at 44 minus 6925. We just have to destroy whatever. Oh, there's like multiple blocks above it. That's a big problem, huh? So 44 9265. Oh lord. Okay, so there's like one block. Okay, we might die. So it's right here. Let's just fall down to the ground, and whatever we hit, we'll know that we should avoid that. This is a good idea. Oh lord, I hate this. Well, that was a lot of damage, but we learned, and that's the important thing. So let's do the same right here. Oof. 44 9265. Destroy this block, and now we've started our journey. Boom, and we've got a haste beacon to go along with it. And we've got this whole... Actually, we need to place down a shulker box. Let's place down one of these. I grabbed this early today. It's got some nether block bricks in there, but we'll ignore that. Let's start our journey that will be continuing this week via some streams. Imagine if I decide not to do that after this. It'd be funny, wouldn't it? So anyway, gonna be destroying this entire thing and leaving just a desert well in its place. It's gonna be beautiful, and I look forward to seeing you there in the not too near future. Not too near? Not too far future, probably. Okay, thank you for watching. It takes so long to get out here. I need to get like some boats or something. Because like, even flying, that was such a journey. So I might do precisely that, actually. But anyway, yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Because I'll see you when I see you, which is next time. Goodbye.